Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Malaysia Hotel takes us somewhere else, away from love letters, into a dark file. I had several personal connections. The first was the Turk. I first met Vitali Hakim at the Hotel Malaysia in Bangkok in the spring of 1974. Vitali was a handsome guy from Ankara and quite a character, despite being extremely strung out on drugs. I was a bit wary of him, but agreed to travel with him to Chiang Mai, where we later hired a driver to take us out to the opium fields. Vitali, running low on his loaded up joints, completely flipped out as the rains came pouring down. We eventually got back to Chiang Mai, having somehow failed to find any opium, despite being dead center in the Golden Triangle, where if you threw a stone in any direction, you'd probably hit a poppy plant. Little did we know that we could have walked 10 minutes outside Chiang Mai and been knee-deep in poppies. That night, Vitali, nodding out in his room, managed to drop his heroin-laced cigarette into the folds of his mattress and nearly burnt the whole place down. Next morning, the manager found the smoking mattress and was ready to kill him. That was it for that. He missed the air-conditioned rooms of Bangkok, not to mention the room service, and got on the first bus back to civilization. He thought I was crazy when I told him that I planned on heading further north, to Laos, which was on the verge of being overrun by the communist Pathet Lao. I wound up spending a month in Luang Prabang, then left just days before the country was overrun. When I returned to Bangkok, I inquired about Vitali at the Hotel Malaysia and was told by the angry desk clerk that he'd recently disappeared without paying his bill, having left all his stuff in the hotel room. I thought that was a bit strange, even for Vitali. It wasn't until much later that we learned that Vitali's body had been found near Pattaya. He was the first victim of Charles Sobhraj. As for the two murderers in Kathmandu, I remember well the day he came to my house, his eyes blazing more than usual. A police captain had just visited him and told him about two bodies of Westerners found near the airport, burned and disfigured. It was all very hush-hush and hadn't been reported in the newspapers because the government thought it would be bad for tourism. Body may be murdered Turk. The Bangkok Post, 27th May 1976. Police are bringing to Bangkok the body of a foreigner found in grassland near Pattaya last November to determine whether it is that of Turkish tourist Vitali Hakim. Hakim went missing after traveling to Chantaburi late last year on a gem buying expedition, with the trio now being hunted by Interpol over the deaths of 4 other foreign tourists in Thailand. Deputy Police Chief Lieutenant General Monchai said yesterday that police believed the body to be that of the missing Turk, who was last seen in the company of Alain Gauthier and Ajay Chaudhry, and that the forensic tests would be carried out to confirm his identity. The discovery of the body came after police and Thai Interpol alerted all units throughout the kingdom to notify them of any foreigners killed in their respective area. The body was first found by villagers on grassland last November, but it was kept by Banglamung police because there was no identification on the body and police had no idea of its nationality. The stepped-up search, however, resulted in a re-examination of the body last Friday. General Monchai, in charge of hunting down Gauthier, his French-Canadian girlfriend Monique Leclerc, and Ajay, who faced charge of murdering and robbing at least 4 foreign tourists here, said Thai Interpol are now questioning more foreign witnesses in connection with the case. The Turk had originally met the trio at the Malaysia Hotel in Tung Maha Meg and told them he was interested in buying precious stones. Sources told the Bangkok Post that he was invited by Gauthier and Ajay to go to the gem mines in Chantaburi with them. He left his belongings in the Gautier Soi Saladin apartment and never returned to collect them. Gautier said that Hakim, son of wealthy Istanbul family, had stopped off in Pattaya on the way back. Several days later, Stephanie Parr, a friend of the Turk, visited the apartment to find out where he was. Stephanie was found dead near Pattaya on December 15. Hakim's body was apparently discovered in late November, and it's possible that she had been on a mission to look for him. Lobster knife. We met Sobhraj in Bombay at a restaurant, and his girl friend, Marie Leclerc. We had lobster thermidor, Acid Nicholas was at the next table, and at another, Bombay Brian was being punched by Jimmy the Knife. Quite a night. I was naive. Arrowhead typewriter. He killed a friend of mine in Thailand, Theresa Knowlton. To give a picture to the victim's face. She was on her way to do a 1-month Kopan monastery in Nepal and become a Buddhist nun. I'd met her at previous courses there in 1973 and 74, and she was the driver for the lamas and me at a meditation course at Lake Arrowhead near Los Angeles in July 1975. I was running the publishing at Kopan and had given her a typewriter to bring to the monastery. So when Charles and his little Indian prisoner attendant sauntered into our compound in New Delhi's Tihar jail, and he started chatting with us, I said to him, "Where is my typewriter?" He looked puzzled, so I explained. Then he said, "Oh, she was a prostitute and a drug smuggler. We're better off without her." I told him that in fact she was a sincere Dhamma practitioner and on her way to get ordained. So he changed the subject and asked if I played chess. So he pulls out his board and we had a game. He was the most aggressive player I'd seen, smashing the pieces down every time he made a move. I let him win, safer that way. Anyway, I thought he was an arrogant lying prick, but didn't know all that much more about him at that time. He told me personally that these people, the ones he killed, although he never admitted that, were drug addicts and prostitutes, and that he was doing the world a favor by getting rid of them. That was his bullshit rationale. And of course they weren't. I was only in for a few days at that time and didn't see him again. To me, the story of Theresa Knowlton is especially touching because her last night alive was in Patpong, where he drugged her then and drove her off to Pattaya. 4th November 1975, girl still unidentified. Banglamun police authorities have asked the general public to help them identify the body of a foreign girl found in Pattaya Beach, October 18, apparently after being drowned in high seas. Police did not specify on which part of the beach the girl's body was found. They said she was about 18 years of age, white, about 160 centimeters tall. There were no traces of any foul play, and police and doctors inspecting the body concluded she must have drowned. The body has been kept at the Sawang Boribun Association, Tambon Naklua in Banglamun district, waiting to be identified by relatives or friends. Banglamun police made an open appeal for anyone who recognized the dead girl to contact police to identify the body. And then it goes quick. European girl murdered. The body of a teenage European girl was found lying on a bank of a tidal creek near Pattaya yesterday, and police say they are treating her death as a case of murder. The girl, aged between 17 and 20 years, has still not been identified, but police say that anyone who might recognize her should contact the Satay Navy Hospital. No bruises or abrasions were found on her body, but her purple floral dress was bunched up around her waist, revealing a pair of red bikini briefs. Police are working on the theory that a person or persons held her head under the water until she drowned. The body was discovered close to Saitong Beach, about 9 kilometers south of Pattaya. It was only 2 months ago that the body of a second foreign girl was found floating in the Sea of Pattaya. Police have still been unable to identify her. Then it takes the Bangkok Post and this formidable Dutch staff of the embassy, Mr. Knippenberg, to connect the dots so that Charles Sobhraj and his girlfriend and Ajay Chowdhury become exposed. The Thai police do what they usually do, let them go, and leave the job to the Indian police. So July 14, 1976, 6 months later, the Bangkok Post can proudly announce, manhunt over, 2 held in Delhi. The Bangkok World will write that Alain Gautier's real name is Charles Dumour, and a little bit later they finally find out it's Charles Sobhraj, and as we all know, he is, after being in India in jail, he is now in Nepal in jail. I thank you very much for listening to us here tonight. Now there is a drink on the house. According to your choice, please let the bartenders know what you would like. I would like to especially thank May.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. It takes a lot of courage to be her and to stand here like this and to tell these stories and to go out of the comfort zone. So thank you very much. I'm super proud of you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the evening.